campaigner for justice. Under the leadership of Jeremy Corbyn, she was a Labour parliamentary candidate. She's a lifelong trade unionist who stood shoulder to shoulder with working people in their plight for truth. She's a leading voice in the All Greek Truth and Justice campaign, demanding accountability for the brutal treatment miners suffered in 84-85. Her selfless dedication reminds us that solidarity isn't just a slogan, it's a call to action. Please give a warm welcome to our sister in struggle, Chris Peace.
Well, thank you to Durham Miners Association for inviting me to speak here today on behalf of the All Grief Truth and Justice campaign. It's an incredible honour. Today, the streets of this fine city are packed with the sights and the sounds of solidarity. Every banner, every band, every one of you that's come here from across the country, you've come in the name of one unifying act, and that is solidarity. And when you are campaigning for an injustice that is 41 years old, believe me, you need that solidarity. And so to you, for today and to every other day in this long, long fight for justice, thank you for supporting our campaign. I want you to give a huge cheer now to the many miners and their families here today who have attended this magnificent gala over the years. Give them a cheer. And to those heroes who were on strike in 1984 and 1985. Many of them were at the mass pickets at Orgreave. And of course, to the magnificent women and supporters who were active during that strike. You all continue to inspire us. The whole of that year's strike was a year like no other. And last year, the many 40th anniversary events up and down the country was a real reminder of the many positives of that year. The immense support from grassroots, labour and trade union movement, the international solidarity and the support from other communities who had also suffered at the hands of brutal political policing. New friends and allies were made and remain, and we must remember that. But as we remember, we must never forget and never forgive the brutal actions of that Tory government against the miners. They planned and plotted a secret war on those workers to advance their neoliberal political agenda. They knew that our trade union movement stood in the ways of those plans to sell off our nationalised industries to their mates in the private sector. And they knew from previous experience they could not beat the strong and militant National Union of Mine Workers in a fair fight. By the time the Thatcher government came to power in 1979, they already had the barbaric blueprint for now how they believed they could fight and defeat a major strike in the Ridley Plan. By 1983, they had developed a top secret manual of paramilitary policing and tactics. Those weren't sanctioned by Parliament, as new police powers should be. Only a very few number of MPs and chief police officers were aware of it. And in this manual lay the violent policing of the strike. Every fractured skull, every broken bone, every violent act, be it horses, dogs, long-shielded officers in their thousands, the specially deployed snatch squads, that violence was meticulously planned. There was direct government interference in operational policing, direct government interference in the courts, and direct government manipulation and deceitful briefing of most of the mainstream media. And our campaign has been clear. The violent policing during the strike wasn't limited to that one summer day on the 18th of June at Orgreave. It rained down on our mining communities all across the country, from Scotland down to Kent. But that day was a different day. The way that the roadblocks weren't there, the way that the police ushered people in, it was different in terms of the numbers of police there. It was different in terms of the extent of the brutality and violence. It sadly became repeated across the country, and it was different in terms of the number of arrests and charges of riot and unlawful assembly. 95 miners charged with those charges. The trial took place in 1985. After 48 days of prosecution evidence, the prosecution threw the towel in. They put forward 48 days of lies and fabrication before the court. And then they said, well, actually, there isn't enough evidence here for this jury to find anyone guilty. We give up with this trial. And it's unbelievable that no one has been held accountable for that. An inquiry into Orgreave was demanded immediately by some. And it's sad that we had a Labour government for all those years and they failed to act. But this cannot remain. For 13 years, our campaign has been carefully and determinedly calling on those in power to get this wrong righted. And it's right I take this opportunity now to name the amazing members of our exec. Kate Flannery, comrade sister. Joe Rolling and Chris Hockney. John Dunn, Derbyshire miner. And Kevin Horn, one of the 95 arrested at Orgreave. We have had to deal with 8 Tory Home Secretaries. 8 of them. And what a list. May, Rudd, Javid, Patel, Braverman twice, and Schnapps. Braverman again cleverly. We did get so close in 2016. The Times said there was going to be an inquiry. But the very next day, the Tory old guard were up, saying it couldn't happen. Please remember, the Thatcher government wasn't just one bad Prime Minister. The likes of Britton, Lawson and Tebbit. They all deserve our contempt. But are we nearly yet there? In 2017, under the leadership of Jeremy, we became Labour Party policy. And I can confirm we have had positive meetings with the current Home Secretary. And we were assured a few weeks ago that something will be confirmed within a few weeks, they said. So it's got to be imminent that some kind of an announcement for an inquiry is made. It needs to be imminent. Miners and supporters have passed. We are aware of police papers being destroyed in this patch. Now we know that they've launched an investigation. We want to know why they destroyed papers needed for an Orgreave inquiry. And the BBC, you know how they did that editing job on the footage? They still possess the unedited footage of the 18th of June. And they need to keep it and they need to hand it over to that inquiry. There are papers of senior police officers and the Director of Public Prosecutions that are embargoed until 2066 and 2071. Home Secretary, overrule this. We need the Labour government to take the action they promised. They cannot and must not delay for any longer. We have endured decades of lies, cover-ups, unaccountability, lack of transparency, false vilification and attempts to criminalise. And we are sick and tired of it. So we need your support. Get us over that finishing line. Support our campaign by telling everyone about it. Share our social media. Write to the Home Secretary. Check our website. There's a letter there ready for you to send. And keep buying our merchandise, which helps our campaign, which is made up of volunteers. Keep going. So enjoy today. Let this red glow of socialism lift us and the spirit of unity inspire us. And as we have done before, but this time, let's shout it for the Orgreave miners and the miners from 1984-85. Let's shout for victory. Victory to the miners! Solidarity!